One time I was blooped and I came there and we were talking and somebody said something about India. And I said, oh, I would like to go to India. And Prabhupada said, for what, sightseeing? I couldn't answer.
I must say, in retrospect, the programs were poorly announced. Our leader had made a big poster with Prabhupada's picture saying in big letters, Der Führer, in small letters, of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and in big letters, kommt. So anyone would read, Der Führer kommt, the Führer comes, reminding them of someone who is totally not possessed of holy qualities, of divine qualities. And soon on the posters, little mustaches appeared under Srila Prabhupada's nose. And it was really one of the examples of how his disciples did not serve his preaching mission so well. May I ask, the lamp is blinking, does this mean?
There's 2.5 minutes left on
yeah,
this tape.
Good. So Srila Prabhupada had a few hostile elements in the audience, and I really believe it was in part due to the very unintelligent advertisement of the public programs. So one man was particularly disturbed, and he said, the chanting, it is mass hypnosis, maybe remembering Hitler's speeches where he would influence with his very passionate talks many people. This is hypnosis. Prabhupada looked at him and very kindly said, it is not hypnosis. It is not self-hypnosis, he said. It is self-purification. And he very nicely knew how to, I mean, he was so expert to, with a few sentences, address his audience.
It's very interesting because I left again. I mean, my history is not so great. And when I was living in San Francisco as a householder, then I learned how to program computers. This is in the before Windows. And Spiritual Sky Factory, the old incense factory in LA, and I didn't know about this, but Dayananda later told me they wanted to know if they should buy a computer. And Prabhupada said, yes, get a computer and Umapati can run it. And I had not communicated with Prabhupada anything that I was, So when I did come down to Los Angeles and get back into the swing of things again, I started programming the computer. And on a morning walk one day on the beach, Prabhupada said to me, can your computer tell how many grains of sand there are on the beach? And I said, no, Prabhupada, you would have to tell the computer. The computer, and then Swarup Damodar said, does that mean there is a brain superior to the computer? And I said, the computer is not a brain, it's just a stupid machine. And then Prabhupada seemed satisfied with that answer. He didn't say any more.
I remember in New Vrindavan, one time we were having a darshan with Srila Prabhupada in the house he was staying, and some letters had just come in from different parts of the world glorifying Srila Prabhupada for his books and coming in from different educators and scholars. And there was this one letter in particular that Srila Prabhupada really liked, and he had somebody read it. And this letter, I don't remember who it was from, but it was from a big, big man, big, big scholar. I think maybe it was someone in one of the big mats down, in South India. I'm not sure. I think maybe it was the Madhva Mat, and the Acharya of that Mat. And they was reading it, and this Acharya was saying how these books that Srila Prabhupada has written, how they could not possibly be written. They're so profound, and Srila Prabhupada's so prolific. How someone could do this, being an ordinary soul, is not possible. And this person said, "It is my belief that Srila Prabhupada is Vyasadeva himself. And Srila Prabhupada just lit up with a big smile, and everyone, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, we really don't know. We really don't know who Srila Prabhupada is. And what he accomplished, no one even came near accomplishing previously, and it's unlikely that for a long time anyone will. Srila Prabhupada was directly, as we know, sent by Krishna, and he came to the most, fallen place, and only Srila Prabhupada was empowered with that direct potency of Krishna. Prabhupada once said Krishna asked him to come to the material world. Will you come? Will you go, please, and deliver them? So Srila Prabhupada, though he didn't want to leave, of course he came out of his great compassion, and we saw that. Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, he didn't want to leave, but he came. He came.
At the first Mayapur festival in 1972, when the cornerstone laying ceremony occurred, it was just around the time when devotees were starting to learn some of the Indian styles of chanting, particularly the Bengali styles of chanting, which was quite different. Srila Prabhupada's way that he taught us to chant was very distinct. In my view, completely transcendental, not of this world, and very, very different from the so-called Bengali style of chanting, which is like folk music. Like traditional folk music, melodies and styles passed down. It's like a form of entertainment or music. When the devotees started imbibing that change, from simply absorbing Srila Prabhupada's example and trying to emulate it in our chanting, to adopting some of these Indian styles and techniques and different drum beats than the one Prabhupada taught us. And he expressed some displeasure with that at the beginning when it started. And especially at the beginning when the devotees weren't very good at it. There was one devotee, his name was Achyutananda Maharaj. He'd been in India for some time and had learned some of these things, I believe, mostly from some of Prabhupada's godbrothers in Gaudiya Math and maybe some other places, I'm not sure. But he started teaching this to the other devotees, In fact, he was quite, I hesitate to use the word puffed up, but he was a little bit arrogant about it. Oh, you don't know how to chant. I'll teach you how you should be chanting. Here in India, you have to do it this way. And some devotees kind of fell for it because it was catchy, and the drum beats were catchy and catchy tunes, and, it led that. But Srila Prabhupada, at the beginning, the devotees weren't very good at it, so the result was kind of a cacophony of a very unpleasant sound vibration. Rather than the beautiful angelic chanting that we used to do under Prabhupada's tutelage, it became just a mess, And Prabhupada would hear that going on sometimes from his grass house, and he would say, "It is a pinching sound." He'd make a face, "It is a pinching sound." And he would close his window so he didn't have to hear it when the kirtan was over. He would say, "Thank goodness it's over."